Hi everyone. I'm here with Keith as usual, and we have a slightly different episode today. We're going to try and pick a top 5 away trips on the county circuit. So what we'll do, we will mention every county, um, discuss some positives and some negatives, and then we'll move into a top 5. How are you doing today, Keith? Before we get into
All
it,
good, all good, mate. Had a bit of a lie-in this morning, so that was a nice change. So yeah, no, I'm feeling fresh, feeling good.
ready for this. What are we looking for in the perfect away trip?
Well, location, good cities, good places to eat. Is it walkable to the ground? Coffee shops, changing rooms, what it's like to play there. It's quite a lot to take in.
Yeah, no, that you've pretty much summed it up. For you, is there one thing that's more important than anything else, or not?
Changing room is quite important.
You need a big, spacious
Yeah,
changing room.
yeah, yeah. What about
Showers
yourself?
are quite important for me, actually. A nice shower.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think that's very club cricket as well, isn't it? Like club cricket is all about lunch and showers.
yeah.
Uh, and obviously, we're lucky, we're quite spoiled, aren't we, as professionals? There's a few more things that come into it. Obviously, we're away for 4 days at a time, so things like having a nice walk into the ground with a coffee and all of these things add up.
Yeah. Also, I
Right.
would say as well is what's important for me is once you find a good spot in a change room when you're playing away, that then becomes your spot every year. Every game that you go there, that certain ground it is has to be my spot, and I've got to get there first to make sure I get it.
So Hove, right?
Yeah,
In the changing room, there's a door to the opposition, or there's a door to the home dressing room, but it's
yeah,
obviously locked and there's no one in. I like to sit there, and I like to set myself up early. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of space there. So your Hampshire teammate and my now teammate Scott Curry, not
yeah.
really met him properly. I rock up at Hove with all my kit, thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm going to sit my favourite spot." He's there. He's in there. Talk about getting off on the wrong foot. I was like, "Oh, who's this guy in my spot?" Oh dear. I didn't tell him. If he listens to this, he'll find out.
So go on. Are you going to start us off? Start us off with
All right. Okay. Well, we'll work north to south in terms of just briefly discussing each county and its
yeah.
pros and cons, and we're always going to take their main ground. So let's start off with Durham and Chester the Street. What do you think?
I do like Durham. I'll start with the negative. The only thing is that it's a steady drive from where I've stayed before to
It's
get
an understatement.
to get to the ground. So you're having to get up a bit earlier. Decent sized dressing room, good
Yep.
ground. Nets have been okay when I've been there. I haven't been there in a few years, but they were decent and not too far a walk. Get a bit lazy, not wanting to walk too far. And then where we've stayed, there's actually been some good place to go for food. There's like a Nando's. You've got your there was like a Thai place that was there or something like that.
So if you stay at the Radisson,
Yeah, that's where it
you're
was.
just over the river, and you've got within walking distance, you've got all your major chain restaurants like your
Yeah,
King and Nando's. You can short walk again, but go a little bit further into town. You've got like the Fat Hippo, haven't you? You've got that Thai place up on the right.
yes,
Yeah, the for me, Durham is more about how Durham's really nice than the ground itself, because I feel like the ground can be a bit sparse and a bit empty. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. You've got a nice view of the castle in the distance.
Yeah, I don't care about that. That cut, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's always someone that mentions it as well and says, "Oh, I've stayed there once and I did like a Ouija board and stuff like this." I'm like,
Yeah.
not interested in that, to be
I'd,
honest.
out of 10, what would you give Durham?
Oh wow,
Yeah, I've just thrown that in there.
out of 10,
Mm,
I'd say the length of drive getting there in the first place, and the fact that I don't love being at the ground itself would mean it'd be like a 6 for me.
that's fair enough. I was going to say 6.5, so not far.
Look at that. We're on the same page. Durham, the town, though.
Yeah, very good.
Right. Should we let's go Headingley now. We're in Yorkshire, in Leeds. What's your thoughts on this?
Early when I started, we used to stay in the city centre, so it was a little bit more of a drive. And then over the years, it's been the village, which hasn't been too far away. Not really. I wouldn't really walk, even though it is walking distance. I wouldn't walk to the ground from there. But as a ground, it's a bit of a odd changing room the way it's been designed. I still have my certain area which I've managed to like wangle almost 2 spots. So like I'm sitting like when you walk into the changing room, go past the showers and toilets on your left far corner. On the left, that's where my place is normally.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
Someone's like kit area on my right, and then I pretend that I've got someone on my left as well. So I just kind of use both. Put myself there early. You set your stall up, haven't you?
No one's arguing with you there either, are they?
Not a fan of the viewing area. It's quite tight in there. When was the last time you played there? Oh, it'd have been last season, wouldn't it?
Hey, hit the
oh,
winning
yeah.
runs there last year, buddy. Yeah, no, you're spot on. That room can get a little stuffy, and it's not huge.
Yeah.
The balcony is a good addition, definitely.
Yeah.
But for all the reasons you use, the change rooms aren't great. What I would say about Headingley is I think it's a brilliant cricket surface. It's like outfield pitch, and the arena itself is spot on, I think. And I think it's conducive to good cricket. It also, I like it a lot because there's some good coffee spots. So you can walk, have a nice coffee. There's also a really good Indian sort of street food restaurant called Cat's Pajamas, which I like. Although they do overemphasize the fact they use Yorkshire cheese in a few dishes. You get a lot of that, don't you, up there?
One issue I do have is that where the nets are, you cannot have a hit pretty much during the game if you're in a few wickets off, because it could be a 5-minute run back just to get to the changing rooms. What was the Cat's Pajamas? Did you say it was?
Yeah.
You remember there was I think me, you, Ricky Clark, 2 or 3 others, and I'm pretty sure it was whoever got a message. I think we had a message from the missus had to like pay someone else's meal or something like that. You remember that?
Yeah, I think I can. Jeets was there, I think.
Yes, yeah. I do remember messaging my missus saying, "Do not send me a message."
Actually, mate, that restaurant's so good. We had a bowling thing there last year, so it was about 8 of us in there, and I'd been there before, so I organised it. So it was like Fonz, Mikey Fine, and basically all the bowlers.
Yeah.
And a few of the lads ordered. I think they ordered a butter chicken, right? And it wasn't a butter chicken. This thing had fireworks in it. It was so hot. There's literally just 8 of us after a day's play sweating because we'd ordered what we thought was a butter chicken and it was spicy. But it's a good spot. It's a great spot. But the nets are important because personally, I do not need an excuse not to have a hit in a game. And Yorkshire, there's no danger of me having a hit. I can't get in the morning on the square because it tends to be too busy with batters. And then I'm not walking that far for a hit.
Out of 10?
I actually really like it. I think I like it more than you. I'd have it like an 8 for me as a week away.
Yeah, I was going to say 7.5. So that's not bad. That's not bad. They've done all right. They've done all right.
Oh yeah, Old Trafford. Then go on. Then let's go across the Pennines to Manchester.
Born there. Wasn't raised there for too long before I moved, but I do like the city. I do like where we've stayed. There's been obviously loads of places you can go for food and then catch up with friends and whatnot. You can't walk from the hotel to the ground normally. Get to the ground. I do like the actual ground itself. I like the layout, the setup. Good sized changing rooms, good viewing area. I wouldn't say it's too bad, to be honest. I don't know what your thoughts are, mate.
Elite changing facilities. So I think that they've got it spot on where the viewing area is above the sight screen, which is brilliant. So let's say Edgbaston, for all its positives, there's always one team that has a sight screen in front of them, which ruins the viewing. Whereas at Old Trafford, they've got that right and they're above it. Yeah, great. Cricket-wise, for me, it's absolutely spot on. I haven't played a 4-dayer there for a while. So driving into the ground every day is a tiny negative for me, but ultimately it's a brilliant venue. Yeah, I don't know Manchester too well, actually, so I'm relying on your knowledge a bit more here. But it obviously hasn't made our top 5, despite being a brilliant test venue.
Yeah, I mean, see, sometimes we get back late from a day's play. You know, you can go and deliver, and you've got quite a lot of choices, which is always good, always good. Whereas some grounds you don't really get that.
No, absolutely. We'll get to those. Right? Are we happy with Old Trafford there? So you haven't made the top 5.
Yeah, haven't made the top 5. What would you rate that though? I feel similar to Headingley. Like, give it a good 7.5. I reckon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's probably, let's be honest, it's probably exactly the same, isn't it? I'd have thought for me, but so somewhere like an 8. Yeah.
Next, where we at next?
Derby. We're going down the motorway. No, we're not. We're going the A50 or A52 to Derby.
Derby, for me, I've not played a 4-day game there in a long time since they moved the changing room. But right. I have played there in a 1-day game, so the changing rooms are better than what they were. Hotel, I think we stayed a few miles away from the hotel. Didn't feel like there was much around there. If you were to be there for 4 days, like food choice wise, or there might have been, but not probably what I wouldn't have really fancied. I did not like the fact that the changing rooms were like top floor, and then you had to go probably about 4 flights of stairs the way down to get to a shower. I've never used the nets, actually. Never gone and used the nets, so I don't know what they're like. They are not too far away.
I think they're a mixed bag.
Good wicket to bowl on. I reckon nice bit of carry there.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, you can tell you haven't played there for a little while.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, it's okay for me.
Okay, right. Do you want me to give you my little? Because I've played there a little bit more.
You're a Div 2 star, aren't you? You go ahead, mate.
Yeah, so I've obviously played there a little bit. So for me, I like to look at the positives where I can. Right. Yeah. So we've stayed at the Travel Lodge on the ground.
Right. Okay.
Right. So to be honest, convenience, that's brilliant. And after a day's play, that's spot on. Right. So you've got that. You've got decent changing rooms, although they're a bit thin. They're a bit narrow, but they're decent, and the viewing area is good. Big negative is the showers. However, you've got the indoor school in kind of right there. So actually, for having a hit and stuff, I'm a big fan of the bowling machine and getting a bit of volume in. The indoor school is brilliant. The food is also brilliant at the ground.
Say that again, mate. Say that again.
So the food.
About the indoor, sorry.
Oh, sorry. So the indoor school is right by the changing rooms, which is actually really handy for like training and having a hit and top ups. The food at the ground is also very good. So these are all positives. It can get a bit flat there to bowl on.
Really?
Can do. I think the scores would reflect that at the minute. And then socially, I don't know loads about Derby, but a guy called Will Davis, who knows Derby well, took us to a nice pub out in the countryside. Also, we staying at the Travel Lodge. You're like a small drive from the into Derby, which is like the Solihull equivalent of Touchwood. You know what I mean? Or the Derby equivalent of Touchwood. So actually, you've got your chains and that sort of stuff. So, having said all of that, it is nowhere near the top 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Trent Bridge, Nottingham, Trent Bridge.
Not willing to rate that one out of 10, Chris?
Oh, sorry, Keith. Go on.
I'm only going to go off my experience, which was a few years ago. I'm going to give it a 5.5.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to disagree with you there. I personally have learned to love it. You know what I mean? I've made myself like squats and drinking greens drinks and things like that.
So you're not going to give a number?
Oh, I'll go 6.
All right.
I'll go 6.
Cool.
Trent Bridge, Nottingham.
Notts, good little city. Good ground. Do enjoy it. Obviously, I like my food. I do enjoy the food. The good food there.
Elite food.
Yeah.
Elite food.
Playing there, I actually do enjoy. Big difference with the weather conditions. Overheads make a big difference, which can have you in the game more. Overall, I do like it. One thing I don't like actually is the fact that their changing rooms are above the away dressing rooms, and they do make a racket if they win. Not that they've won much in the last few years against when I've played them anyway there, but I do have a lot of memories of them dominating Warwickshire a few years back, and they'd make a hell of a noise up there. Which was end of the game. You're already beaten. You don't need that on top of it. But overall, I do rate it as a very, very good ground.
It's one of those interesting I'm going to talk changing rooms now. It's an interesting changing room because it's one of those that I'm sure people are familiar with, where there's different sections. So all the the weirdos can go out in the back. The people who don't want to talk to anyone, put them in the back, and then all the people who've got social skills sit in the front. The downside is because you're level with the play. So actually, this is one where there's a bit of a sight screen issue, isn't it?
Yes.
Looking out from the change room, the
You have
doors
to,
and windows have got that weird thing on them.
yeah, you have to move your head as the ball is running in to see it clearer.
Yeah, you have to keep moving.
Yeah. Good size
So
changing rooms. Good size changing rooms. I do like them.
good showers, like you said, elite food, good cricket surface. You can, whoever you are in the game, you can get something out of Trent Bridge. I think in it, at certain times. The city is obviously good, although I don't know it as well as some. Where are you ranking this then?
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
So where does this compare for you against Old Trafford and Headingley? Would you prefer the two?
I prefer not. I think.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think hotel proximity to the ground is my issue with a little bit with Trent Bridge. That's it. But yeah, lovely ground. I'm happy to give it 7.5, 8. But yeah, should we move on?
Don't go keep going 0.5 more than me, mate. Have some balls about you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You can score.
Go
on.
All right, we're going to go to my home county now, Leicestershire. So Grace Road.
Right.
I'll let you talk more here, shall I?
Yeah, I haven't played 4-day game there in 6 years now. It was our last season at Warwickshire.
Yeah, I played that with you. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I will say, which has been outstanding, is the nets are unbelievable there. The outdoor nets, surface to bat on, have been brilliant from when I've been there and when I've seen it. Small straights, which is a bit frustrating as a bowler. And obviously encourage you to slam it halfway down to just get hit square.
No, I know what you mean. It is wider than it is long. That's for sure as a ground.
Changing rooms have got better. I'm not too sure on the food. I think it was a bit all right. Car park's close, not far to walk.
Yeah.
But not much around, I didn't think. Which hotel was about 3 or 4 miles away, just off of one of the motorway junctions, I reckon. But there wasn't much around at all. I don't think, like food and coffees and stuff like that.
So for me, obviously, this is a commute, and I don't, I won't stay there. But I mean, the hotels themselves are very good, aren't they? But they are, like you say, they're a bit of a drive from the town centre, which is huge because after a day's play, that's what you want to go and have some good food. Changing rooms, I'm going to go on a limb. They are elite. Now they are elite. They've been redone. I don't think you've been in them yet.
Like 6 years ago since I've been.
Yeah, so the changing rooms have been redone, so they're actually top class now. You can verify that elsewhere if you want to. I'm going to good cricket surface. Both the square in the middle, I think, and the nets are all good. Yeah. I mean, I like it. Again, I'm very fond of it. But are you going to give it a score out
I'm
of
going
10?
to give it a 6.3. That's my.
Wow, that's really.
Yeah, well, you're obviously going to give it a bigger one because you play there as well, and you will find little nuggets there more than I will. I'm there for 4 days max, but yeah, it hasn't had much to offer. I don't feel for myself.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Should we move on?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Northants. So we're in
Northants.
Northampton, the county ground, Northampton.
Normally a bit of a drive, if I remember correctly, to get there.
Yeah.
From the hotel. I don't know. People will probably think, "Oh, what's a bit of a drive?" It just means you just up that bit earlier. Obviously, when we're bowling and stuff, it does take it out of you. And I think every minute counts when you're pretty tired. But bit of a drive when you're on your way in. Change rooms are better. Can't remember last time I played, but change rooms are better than what they were. I think the nets close by. I'm not too sure on them now. And wicket wise, they seem pretty dead. The wickets there. I don't think there's much on offer as a bowler anyway.
All right, okay. Just quickly here. This is.
Mm.
I was just looking away there. My cat was up on my kitchen worktops there behind the scenes. You know, when I'm looking, I'm like, do I have to pause here? And then she's got down, which is good. I have some dreadful memories of Northampton. I remember once there, I got hit for a flat six that went through a billboard on my way to figures of like 4 for 70 in a tee. You know what? It might have even been a 50 over game when I was young, when like my first year, bowled absolute junk, and batters were hitting it that hard they were breaking the ground off my bowl. Change rooms have been redone, and I haven't been in them, so I can't comment on that. In the past, I've had issues there getting the amount of food I want at lunch. Do you know what I mean?
They're on a bit of a budget, are they? Or what
Mate, I don't know. They've just not liked me asking for another bowl of soup or, an extra roll and that kind of stuff. They've been a bit, looked at me like I was a bad person. I think the surface is good. The cricket surface is good, isn't it there?
I don't think it's too bad. Maybe the wickets changed. I think when they came up to Div 1, they flattened them out a little bit more, if I'm correct. But yeah, overall, I don't think there's much going on there. And I think where we've stayed, it's like being a good 10 miles or something away. So yeah, I'll let you give a score first before I do.
Or, you know what? I'm going to be totally honest. This is my least favourite away trip.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And look, that's all personal, isn't it? There's nothing like
No.
there's nothing against them. There's just for me this one is probably my least favourite.
Also, with this is not a real true reflection. We're just going off our experiences when we're there for a short period of time. Like so, yeah, it's not 100% accurate as a place. We're just going off when we've been there for a few days within the year. This is what it's been like for us comparing to other counties.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't come after us if you're from Northampton or anything. I'd be putting this as a 5 for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Yeah, 5 to 5.5.
I'm quite food driven, and if people don't like me eating food, that gets me. So I think that's what the issue is. And like I said, this is my memories. This is me. All I can visualize is Rob White hitting me through billboards and things there. So it's, that's why. Okay, should we hop across to Gloucestershire and Bristol?
All right. God, yeah. Talking about food, this was to do with, I think, COVID year. Was it COVID? No, it wasn't. It was the year after. It was the year after. And we, it was baking hot, really hard 4 days. Wicket was flat. Run-ups were also on the nets, which were bone dry. So they were like running on concrete at the top of your mark. It was really difficult. And obviously, if you're working hard, we bowled for a lot during those 4 days just because they didn't get the runs they wanted and they were trying to play for a draw. We got fed at lunch, bit of salad, like some celery and a block of cheese. That was at lunch, and it got to a stage where I reckon from day 2, lads started getting Deliveroo because it was just we cannot like play on that kind of food. It was impossible. I reckon 1 or 2 lads had the hog roast from a little cabin next to the ground.
So this is brilliant, and I'm loving this story. So it has to stay in. We can't edit this out. But you basically talked about Cheltenham there, not Bristol.
No, have I?
Yeah.
Oh yes, no, I have. Oh my god.
Yeah, you have. So you basically had a
yeah. Do you know what? I've only been to Bristol once. I've been to Cheltenham 3 or 4 times. I've just gone to where I played most of the time.
Well, do you not like Cheltenham then? Because the place is a lovely place.
It's a lovely place, but to do my job.
Yeah, true. That's it. That's the way you're looking at it.
Bristol. Only time I played at Bristol was I didn't even play. I was 12th man. Was a T20 game. It's like 2010.
Wait, you've had like a 15, 20-year career and never played at Bristol?
No.
That's amazing.
One. I think I played there. I may have played there once, but it was a T20, and I'm sure it got rained off.
That's extraordinary that you've not ticked every ground off.
I've just gone straight to Cheltenham because I've only played there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, fair. Well, so shall I talk about Bristol then? Because
you haven't got a clue. I've only been there when it was 50 over comp, and I was there as like helping the bowlers out. I didn't play. I just watched. Took the net.
Well, it depends. Bristol's an interesting one. I think the changing rooms are decent showers, good bars. They've got those like kind of bars that you sit in, but they're squares. They're like deep squares. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Not good bars.
Yeah.
Viewing's decent enough. Indoor school just below, which is good. Wicket, I think you'd like bowling on it. It can be nibbly and it can move there. And the outfield tends to be quite lush, so you can keep the ball in good nick and it swings, albeit it's not like a pacey pitch. It depends on where you are hotel-wise. Unfortunately, when we stay there, we stay at the Aztec Hotel, which is a brilliant hotel. So the hotel itself, top class. However, it is a 15, 20-minute drive into Bristol in the mornings. And then obviously if you want to go into wherever, let's say you wanted to go to like the Clifton area in Bristol, I think you have to drive everywhere, which we talked about being something that was important to us, that is walkable, which I don't think it is. So that loses points for that.
What about Cheltenham when you played there?
Oh, I don't know how often I've played there. You know,
Well,
I can't remember any hotels specifically. So I can't really comment. I mean, it's a stunning ground. Visually, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. But I've not played there at all. Literally, that's straight off. Like, that's more of a home ground for me than it is, an away trip than it is Bristol.
Once at Cheltenham, I played a prank on the physio, and I filled the physio bag full of like fruit. Like, you said you had that school lunch. There was loads of fruit.
Yeah,
anyway, I didn't empty his physio bag, but I just filled it to the brim with fruit. And I think it might have been Ben Mike got hit on the head. So the physio ran out with his bag, opened it, and literally like a whole fruit bowl fell out on the pitch. When you're like, oh God, that backfired. Another story actually, which was particularly funny about that game, because it was rocket hot, is Matt Mason, who's now the England women's bowling coach, lovely bloke, good bowling coach. He had decided he was going to start drinking one of those big gallon jugs of water. He was like, right, I'm on it. I'm going to be really hydrated and keep drinking my water. And me, John Sadler, and a couple of the other lads, we were like, right, we're just going to keep topping it up. He was like, I'm going to drink a gallon a day. And we just literally, every time I look in, we just kept topping it up. And he kept looking at this bottle, it was going nowhere. So, I mean, that's the sort of rubbish jokes you do, isn't it? When you sat around for 4 days.
So go on then. What would you give Bristol out of 10?
Oh, Bristol, 7.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Ruthergran, and I'm gonna give it a 6.5. And it's not to do with the actual. It's more to do with everything else apart from the ground.
No, but that's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Okay. So we're going to go over the Severn Bridge to Cardiff and Glamorgan, Sophia Gardens.
Cardiff, I've only played the I think maybe 2 T20 games in my career, or maybe a 50 over. That is it. So, and I'm talking early career, so I cannot give much on this at all. What have you experienced, mate?
Well, this was a collaborative thing, getting our top 5. If this had just been me, this would probably be in the top 5. I think it's an outstanding away trip. Good hotels, city centre, yet everywhere's walkable, so you can walk to the ground in the morning, and that's a nice touch. Good coffee spots. There's a coffee shop that is walkable from the ground, which is an elite drop. There are nets on the square, but there's an indoor school. Good changing rooms, large, comfy changing rooms. Good viewing. Good food. It actually ticks a hell of a lot of boxes. Obviously, city centre, so good restaurants. It's one of those grounds as well where when it rains. So it's like you can sit down for 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? It's not like off and on, off and on, off and on. This is like proper, whether it follows the River Taff to the ground, I don't know, but it does seem to. If it's wet, it's wet. But you know what? I for me, it's an elite trip. This one.
So, what would you give it, mate? We can only go off your score here. I haven't played enough there at all.
For me, this is like a 8.5.
Wow.
Yeah, this is. Wow. Yeah, this is right up there. Right up there.
Okay, let's move on. Where are we moving to next?
Taunton, Somerset, your favourite.
My favourite? Well, it's not my favourite.
You go on about Taunton. You bowl well at Taunton, don't you, to be fair?
I've done okay. I've done all right. So it used to be Holiday Inn, as you remember, just off the motorway.
Familiar with that.
So not too far to get into the ground. We recently have stayed at a hotel 20, 30 miles away, I reckon. It is a solid drive in. Ground, I do actually like the ground. I like the layout of it. Sorry, just come to my head about you were there. Do you remember when we spotted that the members would race to their seats in the morning? They run to the walking stick flying everywhere, trying to get in the seat, like above the wick, like viewing over the wicket almost. I do like the layout there. You do get something out of the wicket, so it is nice feel when you're out there bowling. Good surface of grass, like diving. I don't feel as though I'm going to do myself any harm. Food's not too bad. I do like when they've got yogurts and like nuts and stuff like that to have with a banana or something, a bit of honey.
Do you still dive around in the field, Keith?
I kind of hover, like I almost get down and then.
Brilliant.
I do try. I don't mind it. I think it's a decent ground. Food options, not loads to choose from. Change rooms can be a little bit tight, but I've got a certain spot which is my go-to. As soon as you turn left into the change room, take take your first left again. I'm just banging that corner every time. So yeah, I don't think it's too bad. Oh, there was I think there was a game where we were clearly going to win. I think it'd been a bit of rain, but we needed like one to win when we went back on. And because of the drive back on the coach, the services from Somerset to Hampshire, there's like almost like a bit of a petrol station with a few sandwiches. So I took a calculated risk and delivered myself a Nando's, mate. And we went out. It just timed it perfectly. We went out after so long, after about 20 minutes after I'd made my order, knocked it off. Quick team chat. As we're walking out to the bus, driver, the rider on his scooter comes right up to me. He's like, "Are you kidding?" I'm like, "Yep." Took it straight on the bus. Lads were like, "Oh, you well played, fair play." That's great timing.
It's little things like that that you can do as an experienced performer that just make everyone look at you and think, you know what, this bloke knows what he's doing. He knows the game. He knows the circuit. You know what I
mean? So yeah, I've found Somerset not too bad. It's just kind of options for food and hotel, like where you're situated. That's a bit difficult.
Right. Well, you've played there more than me. Oh, I'm going to be honest. I think Taunton's dead as a town. It's a dead town. The cricket ground, yeah, I get it. It's pleasant and stuff, but yeah, for me, it's the town. It's the where do you go for dinner? Pizza Express or the pub next to the Holiday Inn. I want more than that. I want more than that. Can you get a good coffee? I think the coffee shop's poor at the ground as well. That I remember going there once, thinking, you know what? There's a coffee shop at the ground, an independent little coffee shop. I'll have a wander around there, and I remember drinking it, thinking, this is not.
Yeah.
They asked me what size flat white I wanted, and that was a huge queue. You know, when you're like, there's not, you don't get different sizes of a flat white. You just get a flat white.
Yeah.
So again, very petty from me, but
I don't think I've had. Oh, I might have had a coffee from there, but yeah, can't really remember. What are you giving it out of 10?
6.
6. Yeah, it's 6.5. I give it. I
haven't got the stats you've got either to sort of make it any better. I don't think I love bowling there particularly.
Where are we moving to next?
Oh, we got your home ground, Hampshire, and also my kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Place, not area of birth. My initial. I grew up that way, so yeah, we got Hampshire. How are we going to do this then? Do you want me to go? Do you want me to take the lead?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Critical. I'm going to be critical here to start with. Although it is the away dressing room needs updating. It's a bit. If there were children not pleasant. If there were children in there, you would have to like baby proof every part of that changing room. There's just corners and angles everywhere that you catch your elbows on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the changing room itself could use a little bit of updating. But having said that, space-wise, it's fine. Viewing is fine. The entrance to the pitch is all good. The food's good. Had a lovely roast there this year, so I think the food's decent. Obviously, I get to catch up with you, which is good. If you're lucky, you're staying at the hotel on the ground, which is a really good hotel, and obviously then it's walkable to the ground. So the issue for Hampshire is that they've moved from being in Southampton to moving to the West End or Hedge End, where you now know it. So when I grew up, they played in Southampton, and you just stayed there. But in Hedge End, it's basically there's not a lot there. There's the retail park, isn't there?
Yeah.
But obviously, in terms of eating out, like there's not a lot of Deliveroo options. There's not. You have to drive everywhere, and that can as good as the cricket ground is, and you can't fault that. The ground itself is spot on. It's the what happens. It's from 7 till 2 in the morning, Keith. No, I'm kidding. Not 2 in the morning. I'm only joking. What happens from 7 till 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
And that's where it's a bit trickier. I don't know whether you'd agree with those.
No, I get your point. There's one thing that I don't like about the ground, and this could be changed so quickly, is I don't like how the amount of steps where my spikes are just whirring away as I walk off the pitch to the changing room.
So true. So true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Spot on.
I'm losing a few millimeters every time I walk up and down those steps for sure. And it's just, you know, that your grip at the crease, after each session, you know, I'm gonna have a bit less grip here. Like just put something down, and I'll be happy.
Yeah. Just a rubber mat.
Yeah.
And also it's like the metallic surface up the stairs. It's like ching 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 ching.
Yeah.
And then the concrete.
Someone like James Fuller, he will walk down in his socks and hold his boots until he gets to the last step, which is fair enough. But I can't be bothered doing that. I can't like if I've just bowled, I want to get my boots off, yes, but I want to get in the change room, take them off. He will literally walk off the pitch, take them off at the bottom of the stairs, but I haven't got the time for that. So I just clink, clink, clink.
Yeah. Like each one's like a dagger. That's a good idea though, to be fair from him.
Yeah.
I suppose. You know what? You're so right. That's such a subtle thing, but there's some dressing rooms that have that floor where you feel like you're going to slip up if you stand up in spikes.
Yeah.
And it's like you're having to work just to stand up. Like it's hard. It's a weird feeling, isn't it, when you feel like you're going to slip over? Or Matt,
So
that's brilliant insight from you.
What would you give it? What would you give it?
This is like as an away trip, all in an away trip, and that's what this is. It's not just the ground; it's everything. I think this is a 7.5, maybe.
That's a fair shot. Fair shot.
Okay, we're going to go all the way across the south coast to Kent and Canterbury. What's your thoughts there? You've played there more recently than I have, so your input's important here.
So hotels to the ground can be a walk. You may want to do it day one from where we've stayed at. I forgot the hotel we stayed at, but it's not too far. But if the wickets are as dead as they have been the last few years, you might want to walk in day one. That's it. As a ground, big slope. Food's been very good. You'd love the food there, I reckon.
Oh, good.
Not a fan of the amount of stairs I have to go up. There is quite a few, and it's like not like, you know, Hampshire's like kind of up the first flight of stairs, shift to your right a little bit, and then straight up. It's like up, left, up, right, round yourself up to the top floor. It's just a bit annoying. You've got options for food. Sometimes it can be a bit loud when you go for food there. It's a bit more leery than what I thought it would be. Canterbury at times. I think
it's got a decent student community there. I think
students there. Nets are okay. For me though, I'll give you my rating for it now. I'm going to give it a 6.5, mate.
Oh wow,
6.5.
It's just so hard for me to comment on because I genuinely haven't played there for a while. I played a bit of second team cricket there back in the day. And I have quite fond memories of Canterbury itself as a town. Used to stay in the town centre, and you could walk up. I think when I was younger as well, I've had a few nights out when I used to do that a bit and play. At Chicago's, I don't know if that's even still a place now.
Not a clue.
So it's hard for me to comment really on this one. Do you think that it's flat because they play against you, Abbas and Abbott, and they just make it?
I'm pretty sure. No, I think that's the way they've gone. I think that's the way they've gone for quite a few years. Yeah, last few years definitely. From what I heard, it used to be an absolute snake's bit years back, but not anymore. And it's one of those grounds like you definitely feel it the next few games afterwards.
Oh really?
Playing there once.
I'll tell you what, the crowd are niggly there.
Really?
I think so. I mean, I've played for Essex, right? So it was the Battle of the Dartford Tunnel or whatever. But in what used to play white ball games there, and the crowd would be quite at you. Yeah, they would.
Yeah, did I give it a 6.5, didn't I?
I'm happy just to agree with you.
Yeah, let's move on.
Another one of my former counties. There's not loads of them that I haven't played for. Essex.
Well, go on. You can go.
Okay, as a visitor, and I haven't actually been a visitor. So the last time, genuinely, I played there was for Essex,
Right. Okay.
which was like 2010. Which away change rooms are honking.
Well,
They're tiny.
they've moved them now. You're in a
Oh, have
market,
they?
so you've got loads of room. Yeah. But
Oh, I
you
didn't know. There you go. I didn't know.
you've got like a plastic chair, a table, but loads of space.
Okay, well that changes a lot, to be honest, because it used to be that dressing room. Presumably they've made it a bigger home dressing room now, and the
Yeah.
balcony was so narrow that if you sat on the balcony and someone got out, they'd have to walk past you, and you'd all have to like, lift your legs up and
Yeah.
stuff, and
Yeah.
it was all just very awkward. But yeah, if all of a sudden if you've got more space, then that's a bit different. Hotels for Chelmsford, then where do you? Because I used to live on New London Road, which is basically the road the ground's on near enough. So I have no idea what the hotels are like.
Just off one of the junctions on the motorway. So it's a
Oh,
20-minute drive.
Holiday Inn in Brentwood.
Yes, that's it. It's all right. You've got a pub down the road. I think we went there once when we were at Warwickshire. Other than that, mate, there's not much there around there for me. I don't think.
You been for any nights out in the Sugar Hut, Keith, with
No,
the Towie crew?
no. I tell you, this would have been. You would have been there. You were there. You didn't play because they played Carter. We won in 3 days. That's the only time I've been there.
Right.
But that's what 2010.
10? Yeah,
Yeah.
a long time. Too long.
I'm gonna give it probably 6. I don't feel there's that much going on there.
What I would say is I'm happy to go with a 6 because I haven't actually really played there as an away team. As a home player, Essex is mint. Like Chelmsford's class because you get to enjoy the town. The ground's kind of quite central and stuff like that. So my experiences as a home player there were awesome, but I can't comment as an away trip. So I'm happy.
It's one of those, but you're not really, for us, for me, you're not really staying around to grab food because you've still got that 20-minute drive, 30-minute drive back to the hotel to then sort yourself out.
Sure.
Food's normally on at the hotel, so yeah, never really venture around Chelmsford really.
Fair enough. Well, that is, by my maths, that is 13 teams we've discussed.
Okay.
And we have our top 5 to go. So should we get into the top 5?
Let's go for it.
Right. And we'll go from 5 up.
Yeah.
So number 5, we have Edgbaston. So Warwickshire away, Edgbaston. Keith, go on. What are your thoughts?
Bit of nostalgia, obviously playing there for so long, and knowing the city quite well. Normally stay in and around Fiveways roundabout. So if you wanted to, you could walk in. Not that many people do, but there is that option. You can get decent coffees in the morning, get to the ground, good sized changing rooms, and the quite nice changing rooms as well. Good viewing area as long as the sight screen's not in front of your changing rooms.
Yeah.
Good food there, good ground. Nets have always been all right on the Colts ground, and they used to have well, obviously this was when we were there. They used to have the football pitch there, which was nice.
That got taken away, didn't it?
Yeah. Indoors a little bit of a walk.
Yeah.
But, and this probably adds to it a little bit, is I've always got a good reception there when I've come out to bowl or bat, so it's up there for me.
That's to be fair, yeah, that's really nice. I haven't been back there for a 4-dayer because obviously Warwickshire did one and Leicestershire did 2 at the minute. But it's, let's be honest, changing rooms are enormous, aren't they? If you've watched the test documentary about the Australian team, people can see. But you've got the change room itself, and then you've got like a lounge area, haven't you? So it's really big, great shower. The facilities there are unbelievable. To be honest, they're the best facilities, right? You can train during the game. You've got an indoor school as well. huge dressing room, good food, all of that. It ticks every box. And then obviously you're in Birmingham, so you've got plenty of options in terms of in the evening and stuff. So I think that's a perfectly fair number 5. Do we need to rank these out of 10, or should we just go through them?
We just go through them, I reckon.
Okay,
They're
so
all 8.5 above for me.
100%, dead right. Number 4, we have gone for the neighbours of Edgbaston. We've gone for Worcestershire away.
Yeah, you've played there a lot more recent than I have, but I'll be there this season, so I'll be good to see what your thoughts are and see if it's true.
Okay, right. So it ticks for me every box, that everything you're looking for in an away trip it has. So it's hotel wise, it's walkable. So you can walk to the ground every day. Whether you're staying on the ground or in the town centre, it's all walkable. Worcester itself, not Worcestershire, Worcester itself is a lovely town. It's a pretty town, nice restaurants,
Yeah.
good coffee shops. It's got all of that going on. So outside of the cricket, it ticks all the boxes. At the cricket itself, you've got a lovely pavilion, lovely new pavilion, good changing rooms, good showers, good viewing area. So it's spacious, all of that sort of stuff. The food's good. And then the playing surface itself, the playing surface can vary. It can get quite flat and slow, but equally, if they leave a bit of grass on it, can do a bit. And also, it's a pretty ground. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you play on it, and the environment's nice. Do you know what I mean? Like genuinely, it's quite green. It's lush. You got the views. So yeah, for me, this it just ticks every box. I mean, I don't know if you can remember playing there or what you're looking forward to in particular, but I think it's brilliant.
No, I agree with what you've said, and from what I can remember, I do obviously because we were Warwickshire, we'd always drive there. The only one issue was your car. If you're on the wrong side of the square, your car was in reaching distance of being hit with a ball in a T20 game or whatever. But yeah, from what I remember and what you've said, it seems pretty spot on, to be fair, mate.
Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy it. You've obviously got Worcester this year because they got promoted. I think you'll have a good 4 days, 100%. So number 3, Hove, Sussex away, Hove. I feel like this is Worcester on steroids a bit.
Coffee shop galore, cafes everywhere, loads of different places to eat. A lovely walk in to the ground, especially like if it's summer as well. How good is it?
Unreal.
Yeah.
If you get your route right, you can stop at least twice, if not 3 times, at a really good independent coffee shop.
Yeah.
You know, you can go, right, we're going to walk into the ground at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Stop at 10 past, stop at 20 past, stop at 8:30, and be in ready to warm up and stuff. Oh.
And walking back, the amount of lads that would walk back and get food at a pub or something like that. There's many options, wasn't there? There was quite a few options, to be fair. Remember you, Ricky Clark and Pop went out for food.
Oh yeah.
And what happened?
The Foragers pub.
That was it. What happened? Was it? How did we? Was it? Who? Hold on.
I think
someone lost.
Pop.
But what was it? How did we do that?
I think it was just
the waitress. The waitress was it not the waitress had to pick card out the hat or something? And it was it? No, it was Clarky. Clarky's it was.
Was it Clarky?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, it was. But besides that crap story, it is a great place. Good.
The cricket's good as well, right?
Yeah. Changing rooms, all right, pretty decent.
Yeah, change rooms are good.
Good viewing area when you sat outside. You got nice view.
Yeah. The only negative. There's no two. The only negative is the showers are a bit too hot. Right? That's literally it. The showers are too hot. As in, they actually scold you. If you're the first one in the shower, you're all right. You have to like run in there, get in there first. You're all right. After that, everyone gets a good old scolding, right? And if it's been a hot day, that's a bit niggly. And sometimes the pitch can be very flat, like very flat. Like we played
Mm.
there 2 years ago, and it was literally like 550, played 750. And then Leicestershire, we were like, oh, you know what? Let's have a little bowl at them because you never know. And then anyone had got like another 150 from them. You know, like great idea. So it can get very flat, but all in, great outfield. Like literally, it's the greenest outfield I've ever seen,
Yeah.
ever. Another issue, if you do play there on Pride weekend, however, that is very, very busy,
Mm.
like uncomfortably busy. Yeah. But there you go. That's our number 3. Number 2, we have gone for Surrey and the Oval.
Yeah.
Come on.
Do you know what it was? I'm always kind of, yeah, London's too busy. It's a bit hectic. And then you go there and you're like, this is quality. I think my favourite time of staying there, we stayed in Pimlico.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? And we were, like, breakfast was outstanding at the hotel for starters. But then I'd get a nice coffee, lovely walk in, good ground. There's not much you can't like about playing at the Oval. I don't think. Wicket now, there's good carry. I think when we played the last time we played there together, Sagakara tore us a new one.
Yeah.
There's nothing to not like about playing there. Everything's pretty much spot on. Only issue I do have is the indoor being underground, and you don't know really what's going on. So you got to be wary of picking your times when you go for a hit in the indoor. But yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's just a really impressive stadium, isn't it? To be honest, changing rooms could be a fraction bigger, but there's a lot of history in there. You know what I mean, with all the
Yeah.
writing and stuff. It's a very cool place to play. The food's really good. Like you say, if you're in a good hotel, you've got a 15-minute walk in the morning,
Yeah.
which is
Obviously,
ideal.
loads of
It's just
options,
cool.
food and drink or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's hard to actually even talk too much about it because it's really obvious, isn't it? Why
Yeah.
it's cool. It's just an elite venue. Okay, number 1. I think people should have, if people have listened to all of this, they should work out what's coming. And so we got Lords and Middlesex away as the best away trip on the circuit.
Yeah, I know for a fact every year when we play together, we've looked and like, what Middlesex, where are we playing them? And desperate for it to be at Lords. Just saying Lords itself explains itself. Like, best place you could play. Wickets are probably a bit too spicy from what they used to be, but we're bowlers, so the more movement, the better. Obviously, you're walking in to the ground. From the hotel, I don't think there's a coffee spot, is there? Which is
No,
massively like
that's
your
true.
go-to. So that's probably one issue. I know Ricky Clark used to have issues with one waiter and not getting his pint of milk. But great ground, great facilities, food's outstanding. Many a time I played there, and I've not do it. I don't do it now, but bowling first, might have them like 4 or 5 down, let's say, and I'd speak to Jim Trout and say, "Am I going to start next session?" No, I'm just gonna see the physio,
Yeah.
and then fill my boots at lunch. Just eat so much, have a bit of time off, recover, and then back on. Yeah, what are your experiences? Obviously, you played them when you were younger as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. Again, it's just unbelievable. It's the finer details. So the showers at Lords, right?
Yeah.
They're proper, like, I don't know what the word is, but they're like proper bucket overhead showers,
Mhm.
and you can control the temperature on them, which is important. Like even some of these big test grounds, they have just a button you press, and you just get
Yeah.
what you get in terms of temperature. So you can set your temperature of your shower. It's a proper overhead thing. Molten brown as the soap, all provided. Um, there's an espresso machine in the changing room. Obviously, it's all really comfy, and that you can have your own little spot in there. It's absolutely elite. Like the furnishings, you'd be happy to have in your own home. Do you know what I mean? Well, more than happy, to be fair.
Yeah.
Downside, and everywhere there's nowhere perfect, right? The downside is you don't get sun on the balconies, which just means it's not a 10 out of 10. It's like a 9.5. You don't get the sun on the balcony and it can get quite cold. The pitches, you're right. The outfield's incredible. The pitches, since there's a lot more traffic on the ground now, they can be a bit variable, but you've got the nursery ground for training. You either stay at the Danubus or the Marriott, both walkable. Then obviously you're just in the mixer for restaurants and stuff like that. We used to wander out. Then we did a place on James Street, the burgers and shakes.
Yeah. One thing which is also underrated is the umpire's room is literally right next door.
Yeah.
As well, but it's just quite nice. Could be the other side next to the home dressing room. So the fact it's there is quite nice.
Yeah, totally. And you can sneak up to the top, can't you, as well, and watch from right at the top, which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss anything here because it's so special. Lords is it's just such a special place, to be honest. It's all the finer details. It really has them all. And I think it's widely recognised probably as being the best ground in the world. You know what I mean? There's a reason, isn't there? There's a reason why it's so popular. It has tours going non-stop and all that sort of stuff. So Lords is number one. So shall I recap the top 5 really, really quickly? We have Edgbaston at 5, Worcester or New Road Worcester at 4. We have Hove for Sussex away at 3. The Oval versus Surrey at 2, and Middlesex away at Lords number 1. And there's obviously they're all good grounds. They all have their pros and cons, right?
Yeah, definitely. And like we say, this is we do like similar things. So this is only our view on it. It's probably not the order of everyone else's, but just a bit of an insight of what our thoughts are on this.
Cool. Well, let's leave it there. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got any, leave us some comments wherever you can, and tell us we're wrong or correct if you agree. But yeah, like, follow, and subscribe. We appreciate all your support. Take it easy, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
I forgot to put the